Have you ever sat down to just finish tomorrow's lesson and suddenly it's midnight, your coffee's cold, and you've rewritten the objective at least 6 times? If that sounds familiar, well, you're not alone. A 2023 teacher workload study found that new teachers spend an average of 7 to 12 hours each week on lesson planning outside their pay hours. Okay, that's basically a part-time job on top of the job that you already have. Welcome to the Teacher RockStar podcast, the show that's all about giving you practical tips, valuable insights, and honest talk to help you thrive in your classroom. I'm your host, Steve Hiles, a veteran teacher, and today we're tackling a big one. Cut planning time in half this week. Now, by the end of this episode, you'll learn 3 time-saving planning hacks that actually work in real life, okay? In real classrooms, not just theory. You'll discover one mindset shift that will slice your planning time in half, and I'll share the single biggest trap new teachers fall into that quietly steals hours every week. Stick around because I'll tell you exactly how to avoid that trap at the end, okay? So, all right, let's start with hack number 1, and that is planned in chunks, not just days. When I first started teaching, I made the rookie mistake of planning every single day as if it were its own unique production. Okay. Monday had to be engaging. Tuesday had to be creative. Wednesday had to have group work. And by Friday, well, I was running on caffeine and prayer. Now, here's the problem. That kind of daily micromanagement eats your time and kills your creativity. You know, I once spent 3 hours planning a single science lesson on ecosystems. Okay. It was beautiful. Graphics were awesome. Music, everything. The kids loved it. Okay. For about 15 minutes. But by the end of the day, I was already behind on planning for the next class. Then a mentor of mine said something that completely changed how I worked. She told me, Steve, your week doesn't need 5 different plans. It needs one strong plan that stretches. Well, that clicked. Think of your week like a series of Lego blocks, not 5 different castles, but the same structure built in slightly different ways. Now, once you lock in a rhythm, say Monday for introducing new material, okay, Tuesday for practice, and Wednesday for group work, your brain and your students' brains start syncing, okay? They know what to expect. You know what to prepare. And that predictability saves a mountain of time. Now, here's a stat worth remembering, okay? Teachers who plan in weekly or unit-based chunks save up to about 40% of their planning time compared to those who plan one day at a time. Well, that's that's not a small tweak. That's an entire evening you get back. So start small. Okay. I would like you to take one subject, maybe mathematics, and map out a weekly rhythm. Keep your structure the same. Just swap out the details. Okay. Once you see how much smoother your week runs, apply it to the other subjects as well.
The Teacher RockStar Academy course is meticulously designed to equip you with the tools and strategies needed to skyrocket your effectiveness as a teacher. Curious to know if the Teacher RockStar Academy course is the missing piece in your teaching journey? If you're ready to reclaim control of your classroom and witness the incredible impact on your students, then use the link in the podcast description to learn more about this program.
Now, I'm about to share something that might sound counterintuitive, but this is where the real time-saving magic happens, okay? All right. Here it is. This is a weird one. Never start with a blank document again. Well, sounds simple, right? But that blank Word doc, Google slide, or notebook page is one of the biggest time drains for teachers. We waste so much mental energy just getting started. Here's what I started doing. I built one master lesson template, a simple Google slide deck that includes all the usual stuff I use every single day. Now, for example, slide 1, objective and agenda. Slide 2 was my warm-up activity. Slide 3 was my guided practice. Slide 4 was independent work and exit ticket. Now, instead of staring at an empty screen every single week, I just duplicate that deck, plug in the new content, and tweak where needed. 5 minutes later, I've got a complete lesson skeleton ready to go. It's kind of like meal prepping. You don't reinvent dinner every single night. You cook once, then remix it all week. Planning works the same way. Reuse the structure, change the ingredients. And here's a hidden bonus most people miss. Students love consistency. When they walk in and know the flow, when to listen, when to work, when to reflect, they feel secure. That consistency means less confusion, fewer behavioral hiccups, and smoother transitions. I promise you that. It also means you could spend less time explaining what we're doing today and more time actually teaching. So not only are you saving planning time, but you're also saving instructional time as well. Now, let's get into the mental side of planning, because sometimes the real slowdown isn't the process, it's our mindset. Okay? All right, now, hack number 3, schedule creativity last, not first. Now, this was a hard one for me to kind of get a grip on. This one took me a long time to learn, I must say, but most of us start with the fun stuff, the games, the group projects, the Pinterest perfect activities, and then we try to build the rest of the plan around that. Well, if you think about it, it's like designing a car, starting with the paint color. Well, here's a better way. Start with your non-negotiables. What do I mean? Meaning the standards, the objectives, and the assessments. Once those are clear, then you can plug in the creative activities that support them. I call this packing the suitcase planning. The standards and the objectives are your clothes, what you absolutely need. The creativity is your travel size shampoo. It's awesome, but it only fits after the essentials are packed in the suitcase. All right. This shift will not only save you hours, it'll make your lessons sharper and more intentional. Okay. No more fun but pointless activities that look great on paper but don't quite hit the learning target. And when you plan this way, something else happens. You stop overthinking. You're not wasting energy trying to make everything perfect. You're just making it purposeful. And when I finally made this switch, my planning time dropped from 3 hours to about 45 minutes per lesson. Now think about that. And here's the kicker. My students actually learned more because my lessons were tighter, more consistent, and built on clear goals instead of random inspiration. Now, let's circle back. The big trap that steals hours from new teachers every single week. So what's the trap? Trying to impress other teachers instead of connecting with your students. Now, it's easy to get caught up in making lessons look perfect for observation or Instagram worthy for your teacher account. But the truth is, your students don't care about perfect. They care about you showing up with energy and clarity. Your best lessons won't come from fancy templates or endless Pinterest scrolling. They're going to come from you, understanding your kids and knowing what keeps them engaged. Because, at the end of the day, lesson planning isn't a design contest. It's a connection tool. When you stop planning for approval and start planning for impact, everything changes. You'll feel lighter, you'll teach better, and you'll finally get your weekends back. So remember the 3 hacks, okay? Plan in chunks, not days, okay? Reuse your master template. Ditch the blank screen. And then 3, schedule creativity last, not first, okay? That's how you start working like a seasoned pro instead of running on rookie fumes. Now, if you want more tips and strategies, keep an eye out. There's always another one coming your way. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll see you same time, same place next week. And remember, my friend, you got this.
You've been listening to the Teacher RockStar podcast with your host, Steve Hiles. We hope you've enjoyed this podcast as much as we have. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our ever-growing community of Teacher RockStars. Until then, thanks for listening.